All right, a couple things. I'm Scott Johnson. I'm the state organizer for 5051. And the first thing is, we have gotten a lot of good feedback from everybody. And the first thing is, this is a 3-hour protest, not a 4-hour protest. And we heard from you loud and clear about more marching, so we started with a march. All right? So, next thing, if you look at the lectern, you will see a countdown timer. An inaccurate one, says our software engineer, who's too damn honest. Okay? And the point being is, our speakers went too long. Nobody knew what was going on. No one knew when they could go take a break if they didn't like a particular speaker. Now you know how much time you've got. And I see it too, so the whole idea is to keep everything on track. Next positive thing, no one had to pay for parking today. That's a win. All right.
Free at last.
5051 continues to step it up across the state. This week we were in Ellettsville at the Beckwith Town Hall, and I even asked baby fascist Beckwith himself a question, to which he lied, but you know, hey, it's what fascists do. We had a good turnout for the community picnic. Everyone seemed to really like it. Expect more of those over the course of the summer. Our repeat protests are starting to pick up some momentum. We're doing those again Thursday 4 to 6 at the FBI in Castleton, and Friday 4 to 6 at the Statehouse in Indy.
And in Franklin.
And in Franklin, there you go. And we're trying to get the Friday night protests stepped up across the state. And most of all, we actually are starting to plan for the future for the first time. So I can now tell you when the next several events are. So 6/6 is Veterans Day. And 5/31, 5051 is volunteering for Earth Day and helping out. 6/7 is Greenwood Pride, where we're running a table. 6/14 is Major Pride, the main Pride. 6/15 is Dads for Democracy up in Noblesville. And 7/27 is our new environmental protest called We Only Have One Planet, Let's Not Screw It Up. All right. So, and we're also helping other groups plan protests now. And finally, if you're a speaker, you get the best giveaway of all, homebrew moonshine that I make. All right. And finally, we now sell merch. Go visit the merch table. All right, so the bad, that was the good. So what about the bad? Trump continues to get worse in every possible way every day. There is always something new. My favorite from this week was when Kristi Noem failed to be able to define habeas corpus. And she just fumbled it. This is the people that were electing America. Another really bad thing was every Democrat in America voted for Trump's anti-revenge porn bill, which, if you read carefully, is an egregious violation of free speech on every level. And I'm saying that not because I'm pro-porn, but because it gives an excuse to put a lot of people in jail. Among the many things that it will criminalize is anime and manga.
Oh my God.
So, other bad things. We're not doing a good enough job at being responsive to people. We're trying to get better at doing the right thing and responding to input. We just get a lot of messages. All right, final question. People keep saying to us, hey, Indivisible says no King's Day on 6/14. What is 5051 doing? And I'll tell you what we're doing. We are supporting Pride, okay? If you think about what's one of the consistent themes across all of Trump, it's that he hates people who aren't straight, white people. So we are going to go out and enforce and support Pride this month. So if you think about it, having Pride on Trump's birthday is, man, it's the best that to Trump that you could give. All right? And the other reason we're doing this is we have benefited tremendously with support from the LGBTQ community here in Indy. And it's going to give us a good example that protests can be joyful, not just angry. And then finally, if you're really upset about No King's Day, come join us in Noblesville on 6/15 for Dads for Democracy. Now, I am very, very pleased to announce our next speaker.
That's you, bud.
50-51, when this started getting moving, I thought to myself, I bet we're going to get a candidate out of it. And what I didn't think was that it would be this soon. Can I get a big hand of applause for 50-51's first candidate, Alex Hardy? Come on up, brother.
I think the stairs are in the back.
Oh, look at that. Good job, man. Proud of you. All right. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Indiana. How's everybody doing? My fellow Hoosiers, my name is Alex Hardy, and I'm running to represent Indiana's 6th Congressional District in the United States House of Representatives. My life began in chaos. I was born in 1988 at Kettering Medical Center in Ohio, the child of a home torn apart by invisible wounds. My family didn't look sick from the outside, but addiction, mental illness, and undiagnosed brain disease shaped every corner of my childhood. By the time I was 10, I was the only line of defense between my mother, my sister, and the violence inside our home. I did my best, but it wasn't enough. I couldn't keep Ashley safe, not from her addictions, not from her trauma, not from the system that failed her over and over again. She died of a fentanyl overdose. And without access to affordable rehab and mental health care, her death wasn't just tragic. It was inevitable. My father, suffering from Huntington's disease that went undiagnosed for years, had access to just one facility in the state that could care for him long term. He died after a fall in a heat stroke in the backyard that should have been his place of rest. I gave the order to take him off life support. I was barely an adult. No one in Indiana, no one should have to live like that. Not now, not ever. I left home at 16 for trade school and graduated from the business technology program at Golconda Job Corps. And I joined the Army the next year. I served 2 deployments in Iraq, and while I never fired a weapon, I carry wounds that don't show up on x-rays. I suffer from PTSD, not from combat, but from witnessing the moral injuries of war, the torture of detainees, the silence that followed, the feeling of complicity when I couldn't find a way to speak out. I regret that silence. I carry it with me. But I've spent every year since fighting to be more than the sum of what hurt me. I went to college on a veteran scholarship. I studied water quality in China. I witnessed a fragile peace process in Colombia. I interned at the Smithsonian Libraries. I worked as a janitor in the VA hospital during COVID. I've waited tables, done housekeeping, held any job that would let me survive. And I've spent my entire adult life in therapy, healing from the trauma that began before I could spell the word. But this isn't about me. It's about us. It's about ending the criminalization of poverty. It's about ending the war on mental illness and addiction. It's about building systems that protect children and support families, not punish them for being poor or sick. It's about reuniting families torn apart by a cruel immigration system. It's about making healthcare, including mental health care, a human right, not a luxury. We need leaders.
Yes.
We need leaders who won't look away when things get hard. Leaders who know what it means to be failed by every level of the safety net and who will never stop fighting to build something better. We need to end the war on DEIA, end the war on bodily autonomy, end the war on trans kids, end the war on immigrants, and end the war on the Constitution itself. We need to stop treating the government like a fortress for the wealthy and start restoring it as a public trust for the people.
Yeah.
When ICE agents raid schools, disguising themselves as DEA officers to detain children, they're not protecting the public. They're violating the public's trust. We need to abolish ICE and replace fear with care. When billionaires buy Congress and silence democracy, we need to say, not in Indiana, not on our watch. I don't want super PAC money. I won't be bought by corporations or billionaires. We're not here to tinker. We're here to transform. If Congress is too slow, too scared, or too corrupted to do its job, then we will build the institutions that care for our neighbors. We will fund public housing. We will fund public clinics. We will fund public schools that serve every family, not just the wealthiest zip codes.
Yeah.
We will protect the rights of women, of LGBTQ Hoosiers, of immigrants, of students, of workers, of unions, and of future generations.
Woo! That's right. We will fight.
Because a government that breaks its promises has lost its legitimacy, and it's up to us to fix it. As the grandson of two proud Roosevelt Democrats, I come from a tradition of expanding rights, not just for myself, but for people I'll never meet. That's what patriotism means to me, building a country where everyone belongs. So I'm asking you, my fellow Hoosiers, are you ready to register every voter in our state?
Yes.
Are you ready to elect new judges and school board members who share our values?
Woo!
Are you ready to organize, mobilize, and win?
Woo!
My name is Alex Hardy. I've spent my entire life fighting. Let me fight for you too. Are you ready to party hardy, Indiana?
Yeah!
Let's go! Thank you so much.
Hardy Hardy. Yeah. Our website is partyhardy.us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was kidding. Here. Up.
Nice.
You bet. That is Alex Hardy.
Alex!
Crushed it.
I couldn't be prouder.
Ostrich.
And best of all, his campaign manager is also 5051. Taylor, give a hand raise. So, the one suggestion I gave Alex two suggestions. One was to focus on DEI, and the second was to take on Taylor as his campaign manager.
What?
Thank
Because
you.
I have never seen Taylor fail at anything. So, giving Alex Taylor was, I think, the best thing I could have done for his campaign.
Thank you, Scott.
All right. Okay, next up is going to be James.
I'll just tuck that in there.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
James is a poet. He's an artist. He's been at, I think, almost as many 50-51 events as I have. And today he's got something new. He's going to do some a cappella work. And
Tibetan throat.
come on up.
Oh, Donny boy, the flames are crashing. From state to state, they're falling from the sky. Food safety's gone, economists teeth gnashing. It's you, your fault, so leave bye-bye. And don't come back, leave with your cronies in tow. I never want to see your newest low. Just leave us be, go golfing in those meadows. Oh Donny boy, I hate you so. And when you're gone, the people will be cheering. For we all want an end to tyranny. The history books about you will be searing, and we shall dance in joy out in the street. And I can't wait till we are rid of Elon and rid of that done on the White House lawn. I want to form policy with brains, not brawn. At last I'll sleep in peace when you are finally gone.
Awesome.
Excellent execution.
Thank you. And here's the next one. is dangerous. What's in his head is vaporous. His actions are so traitorous. This old man is cantankerous, and he'll endanger us. This fascism is cancerous. It's like his cultists are on drugs. He's an insult to God above. Skin is orange, except the eyes. Leans forward to hide his size. He tries to propagandize. Acts like it's a show. That dope! He cheats just to hit par. He thinks himself a czar. He may have tricked Bill Maher, but we see through your lies. We know what you are. He hides the fact he's bald. His members really small. The man has got no balls. Yeah, we see through your lies. We know what you are. DJ Drunk his tongue, never got the love he wants from them. Fell asleep because his dreariness. The president's delirious, tries to suppress the truth, won't show us how he did in school. He's taking his bribes, breaking the law, helping rich friends with their tax fraud. Skin is orange, except the eyes. Leans forward to hide his size. He tries to propagandize. Acts like it's a show. That dope! He cheats just to hit par. He thinks himself a czar. He may have tricked Bill Maher, but we see through your lies. We know what you are. He hides the fact he's bald. His members really small. The man has got no balls. Yeah, we see through your lies. We know what you are.
All right.
Oh, that's me.
Nice.
That was very creative too.
Yeah. Nice.
All right. So our next speaker is Resisting Oracle. All right. So Elisa has been with us since the very beginning. I got a weird instant message back in March that said, "Hi, I'm Resisting Oracle and I'd like to speak." And I was like, okay. And she showed up for the first protest that she did. She rocked everybody, and now she's going to do it again.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you to those of you who have shown up today. You're showing up for our democracy. We are here today out of a fierce, unshakable love for our country. And because the Constitution, the foundation of our republic, our freedoms, our national identity is under direct attack. And that attack is coming from the executive branch itself, led by a president who treats the rule of law like an obstacle to be bulldozed. I'm going to directly speak to you about Donald Trump's recent executive orders, all 152 of them. They are not just bad policy, they are constitutional violations, and they undermine the principle of popular sovereignty and directly conflict with Article 6, which dictates that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Each executive order is an erosion of our rights. Each one is a blow to the structure of America's government. Take, for instance, Executive Order 14160. With one stroke of Trump's pen, he's attempted to strip citizenship from U.S.-born children of undocumented or temporary immigrants, gutting the 14th Amendment and dismissing over a century of legal precedent. Don't let anyone tell you that this is just a policy disagreement. It is a direct assault on the right of the soil, a principle upheld by the Supreme Court since 1898. The Constitution could not be any clearer, and yet Trump has the audacity to challenge our sacred laws with gross defiance. And his constitutional assault didn't stop there. That was just the beginning. 17 inspector generals, independent watchdogs, whose job it is to expose government misconduct, have been fired under the guise of executive authority. These people aren't just figureheads. They are the people who uncover fraud, waste, abuse, corruption inside our government. And removing them isn't a bureaucratic reshuffle, it is a purge. It's a purge that guts accountability and opens the door to unchecked power. Every firing sends a chilling message, and that is, oversight is unwelcome. Transparency is a threat to Trump's tyranny. And in his compromised arena, the truth is optional. Trump is not just asserting control, he's denying us ours, our constitutional control over our laws. And it's not just oversight that he's attacking. He is coming for due process. The right to fair treatment under the law, the backbone of American justice, is being systematically dismantled. He invoked the Alien Enemies Act to fast-track deportations. No hearings, no appeals, no justice. He expanded expedited removal policies. They strip people of their right to defend themselves before being forced out of the country. So let's be clear. If the government can deny them a hearing today, it can deny you one tomorrow. And that is not immigration policy. That is blatant authoritarianism. These aren't isolated abuses. They're part of a strategy to destroy the legal safeguards that protect all of us. Make no mistake, when due process dies, a dictatorship will be born in its place.
Right.
And we will not allow the birth of a false, desecrated version of our nation on our watch. We will not allow it.
No, we won't.
No.
Executive Order 14171, ironically titled Restoring Accountability, resurrects Schedule F, giving Trump power to fire tens of thousands of nonpartisan civil servants.
Yeah.
These are career experts who serve the American government, not any one president. This isn't reform, it's a hostile takeover by our government and the government's loyal sycophants.
Right.
With every firing, every silenced critic, Trump isn't just tightening his grip on power, he is choking the voice of the people. He is stifling our collective power as rightful heirs to the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution itself. He's also targeting independent regulatory agencies like the FTC and the FCC. These bodies were designed to operate free from political interference. Trump's orders drags them under direct presidential control, gutting their independence and clearing the path in his quest for absolute control.
Well, don't ask me about tomorrow. I wrote it. Don't try and tell me about the things I'm gonna miss. And don't try to tell me how to run my life. 'Cause everyone knows that ignorance is bliss. There's a consequence for ignorance. There is no substitute for love. You have a choice to make a difference. There is no chance to rise above with your love. You gotta use your love. You gotta share your love. It's time to wake up, wake up, wake up and look around.
That was Greg Zeismer. Excuse me. Greg's a fantastic musician, and he's been relentless at coming out here and providing music for us. We're really thankful. All right. Okay. All right. Our next speaker is our very own Amy. Amy's going to talk about the Trump's executive orders, their impact on the trans community. Come on up, Amy.
So no kings, but what about queens? Just gonna say it. Many of you may have seen my face quite a bit here lately on social media. They've used my face for about every news article considering transgender in the military. I am a U.S. Navy vet. I am a combat veteran. And everything they're doing right now to my community just absolutely sucks. And I hate to say that, but there's no reason that we have to step out of the military when we're very capable of doing the job. There's nothing that's going to keep our readiness from serving 100% in the military. They want to try to talk about the surgery. Okay, great. What happens to people that have knee surgery? What if they have a shoulder surgery or broken leg or a broken arm? They can still serve. They get served light duty. So what's the difference? I don't get it. Hormones, you can take a pill, you can do a shot, you can wear a patch. As long as you have those items with you, from my memory, 20 some odd years ago, I had no problems taking medication when I was in the field 20 years ago. So what's the difference now? I'll tell you what the difference. We got a little man-child sitting in the Oval Office who is nothing more than a clown and thinks that he can dictate who can serve in our United States military. Now, the Constitution says that you can't be a felon and you can't serve in the United States military if you're a felon. But they allow a man that has 34 felonies to lead the military. We have a problem, and it starts right inside this office right here. Mike Braun and all these Republicans that think they can dictate what's in my pants or your pants and tell us what we can do and what we can't do, they need to learn to keep their shit in their own house. What goes on behind my bedroom door is nobody's business. What goes on behind your bedroom door is not my business. I don't care.
That's right.
We're here because Trump. We're here because of MAGA. They think they're entitled. They think their feelings is what needs to happen in America. And I'm sorry, but my feelings mean something too. And for you to tell me that my feelings don't matter, I'm sorry, but you can take 3 steps that way and I'll tell you where the door is. I'm not going to deal with it anymore. I'm fed up. They said that I can't wear my uniform anymore. Well, guess what? June 6th, you come back, you're going to see me on this stage again in dress white uniform.
Foreign and domestic.
You're going to see me perform a ceremony for POW MIA. We're going to play taps for all the fallen veterans because D-Day is what it's all about. It's about our fallen veterans. And I have a gentleman right out here, Joe, is also on the honor guard, and he knows what it's like to do a funeral for a veteran that's fallen. It's not easy, it never is. You have feelings every time you pull that trigger and you hear 3 volleys go off. You know what it feels like, because that could be us someday. All of the trans veterans that are serving are getting the boot.
Bullshit.
Cowards.
Shame.
Wrong.
We got a guy that's a Fox News reporter that thinks he's in charge of the Department of Defense.
You're stronger than he is.
This guy thinks that it's okay to send out secure messages through Signal. Military orders on Signal to his wife, to the reporters, to his friends, and I think even to his dad, if I remember right, was on the list of one of them. So how does that make it right that we're allowing this man in charge of our Department of Defense? It's scary. You know, and the first time that they did it, we had people in Russia, and I guarantee you, Russia knew what was going on before any of us did.
You're more competent.
He's not clean on OPSEC.
I've been part of SOCOM, so I know what it's like. I've bled for this country, and I would do it again. And that day comes, if I have to pick up my arms and defend this country one more time from tyrants that sit in this office every Monday through Friday, 365 for the next 2 years until we vote them out, I'm going to do it.
Mine leaves on Thursdays.
Now, Trump likes to push the pen a lot. And I don't know if you've ever seen, when he signs an executive order, he's proud of himself. He likes to hold it up like we're doing show and tell hour. Every one of them, it's show and tell hour. Look what I did. I signed my name. Look, I spelled it right. How about that? Aren't you proud? Look, it's the greatest signature ever done. You know, nobody can do it like I can. I've done it billions and billions of times. This guy has no clue what he's doing as a president. He has no clue what he's doing as commander-in-chief. He can't even sit in on his daily briefings for our military. He's been to 2, I think, the whole time he's been in office this term. 2 briefings.
Shame. Shame.
That man should not be serving as commander-in-chief. I don't know what it's going to take to get the rest of the people convinced, the ones who are in the red hats. I don't know what it's going to take to convince them that they're leading us to dictatorship. And we're so close to that dictatorship from all these executive orders that they're allowing to pass, and then to have Supreme Court justify these executive orders and allowing them to stand.
Shame.
My face went all over the news, all over the media, the day they did it. And they put me with a cute little picture next to Hegseth of all the people. That man has no balls. Let's just put it that way. He has no balls. He doesn't know what he's doing. Mine got so big they grew on my chest, just saying. So he's got nothing on me there. Being a transgender veteran, it's not easy. Number one, it's not easy being trans, because there's a lot of people on every day that like to judge you. And you know, and I'm seeing it more and more, even in our side of the blue. I still see it. I still hear it. I see it every day on the chats, social media. I don't know what it's going to take for people to understand that I'm no different than you. I'm just trans. I identify as a female. I'm a male, I identify as a female. Science proves it, but oh yeah, wait a minute. We took science out of schools now.
Shame.
We took science out of politics. We don't go by that anymore. We just do what we want. So you know what? I think what I'm going to do is, from now on in, I'm going to be the queen. I mean, I've earned that title. I have 3 titles of Miss Trans USA. So I've earned that title. I've earned my crown. In fact, I get a nice crown at home. I almost brought, but it's worth about $5,000, and I'm not going to bring it down here. So I bought this little cheap one to work for today. Our executive orders have got to be reversed. Congress has got to pass the Equality Act. We've got to start putting in the civil rights. It's got to happen, because if we don't, each and every one of us, when they're done with me, I mean, and they've been attacking me since day one, and they're still attacking me.
Cowards.
Until they come for you, then you're going to understand what it's like for me on a daily basis. There's nights that I sit at home and cry because they just keep attacking me, and I'm doing nothing. I want to live my life. I want to be happy. Don't tell me how to live my life.
Thank you for your service.
These people have no idea the impact that they've made on me or any other trans service member that's ever served. We gave our heart, our soul, and our body to serve our country because we think that's what was needed. It's what's right. And for them to tell us that we can't serve anymore, that we aren't good enough, I have a problem with that.
So do we.
Me too.
So do we.
Until we can get them to hear us, and I think they are, they're slowly hearing us. I mean, my pictures have been across the news. Until they can actually hear us 100%, we can't make change. And how we make change is the people have to speak. And when I say the people, I mean everybody. Because right now the division among us is big. And we have to unite as the people. And when we all unite, these people in here are going to run away like cowards.
Right.
Whoa.
Yes, 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 yes. One voice.
We have to unite as a whole. We've got to become that family of Americans. Remember what happened on 9/11? Everybody united. And we were divided at that point. But once we unite as one, these people are going to run like cowards. And I guarantee you they're going to start listening then. Right now, division, they don't care because they can get away with it. But we have to start calling. We have to start showing up. We have to let them know. We have to make them hear our voice. And I do it every day. Every day. And we all have to do the same thing. Showing up to protest, that's the best way to show your voice and make it heard. But we got to unite. Bring your friends, bring your family. Bring the people that are skeptical, that's still wearing the red hat some days and then take it off the next because they don't like one of the policies that just come out. We need to get those people on our side, because until we can get them convinced that they are taking them down the wrong path, things are going to change. I still serve my country. Like I said before, I do honor guard. I render final salute to my comrades who have paid the ultimate sacrifice, and that's death. They finally get a rest. And when taps is played, I can guarantee you, all of us that have just shot those 3-round volleys have a tear in our eye. And if you've ever done it before, you know what I'm saying. You have that feeling inside your chest. I don't know what to do to make Trump hear us, to change his mind on the trans service members. I don't know what to do to get Supreme Court to listen to us. I don't know what to do to get Congress to listen to us. Maybe I need to go speak to them again face to face like I used to do. I'm going to try to make that happen. I'm in the works of that right now, going to Washington and speaking to them. So if I can make that happen, I'm going to make my voice heard. And I know I'm going to piss off a lot of them, but I'm going to tell them exactly how I feel. Because
That's what you're there for.
Every word.
Woo!
they need to hear it. They need to know the kind of impact that they've put on people like myself and all the others. And there's a lot of transgender vets right now that are afraid to show their face. They're afraid because they don't know what's going to happen. They think they're going to get beat up. They think they're going to get shot, whatever the case. You know what? I bled 3 times for this country. I'll do it again. Bring it on. I welcome it. I'm not going to let them push me. I'm not going to let them bully me. I'm going to stand here. You're going to see me at every one of these functions that I can be at. And I will speak my piece. I will make my voice heard.
Whoa. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We the people.
All right. So we've got a bit of a more intimate gathering than we've had at some more larger protests. So I thought we might harken back to the early days and offer an open mic time. So, I know I spoke with you, sir. Would you like to speak? Sure. All right. Can I get from one of the AV people some help with using the mic down lower?
Hi folks, my name is Evan Robinson.
Hi, Evan.
Hi, Evan.
I'm a 9-year veteran of the Navy.
Whoop.
Thank
I
you.
served during Gulf Storm Desert Shield in the early 90s in the Bosnian conflict. I see a few other veterans out here, and Amy, you just spoke. I'd like to say thank you for your service. I'm jealous of your hair. But I traveled extensively through Southeast Asia when I was a young man. I joined when I was 17. I served till 1993, and especially in Japan and Korea, I was the foreigner. You know, those people were very gracious to me and very open to me and very kind and very graceful in allowing me to learn their customs. And I say all that to say this. People are the same wherever you go. They all want life, liberty, happiness, a roof over their head, and a hot meal. That's all they care about. You know, the people that are coming here now are good, hardworking people. Some are blue collar, some are scientists, doctors, lawyers, and they're the very foundation this country was built on.
What? Do that.
You know, not to get too salty, but you know, it's kind of ingrained in Navy culture, bad language. But I'll say the one thing that pisses me off the most is immigration policy these days.
Whoop.
You know, Trump is trying to say that ICE has the right to enter homes without a warrant to search for immigrants. He's pulling people out of their homes, their jobs, even immigration courts, where people are trying to do the right thing and come here the right way. But it was never about the right way. It was about the cruelty and the racism.
Shame.
I don't know. You know, I'm not a politician or a poet. But I'll try not to ramble here. But
You're doing great.
I lost my train of thought.
We got your back. You sound great.
All right. The one thing that pisses me off is deporting these folks without due process. I don't know, last Friday they entered an immigration court. The judge signed a not deport order for this guy. And ICE was waiting for him when he got out of the courtroom and took him anyway. The lawyer was with him, showing him the papers with the judge's signature, and they took him anyway. They're waiting in delivery rooms for new moms to give birth and snatched them that way. I don't know. I served the Constitution. I took an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Foreign and domestic.
Foreign and domestic.
And,
Whoop.
you know, if there's a hell, I hope Donald Trump finds his way there. So, that's pretty much all I got.
Thanks, brother. Okay. You're great.
All right, I happen to know this person, so I'm going to introduce them. This is Lisa Meese. She does a lot of our 3D printing.
Hey, Lisa.
There's a vision of the world where power is measured in the number of people you're allowed to hurt before somebody stops you. Where competence is measured by the amount of melanin in your skin and God's favor is known by the size of your fortune. This vision is clear, simple, wrong. It is ubiquitous, but it is not inevitable. The cartoon supervillains trying to convince us of this vision, like Tinkerbell, only live on if we believe them. We can work for better things instead. Instead of the pirate code, take all you can, give nothing back, we can choose Robin Hood and make sure all the members of our community have enough. Instead of Leviticus, where the wrong tattoo justifies sending people away, we can choose the Beatitudes, showering blessings on the merciful and the peacemakers. Instead of the evil queen driven by jealousy to send a child to be murdered in the woods, we can choose Snow White, walking through those woods and finding friends who may not look like us, but who we can care for and be cared for in return. Instead of Ursula the Sea Witch, who would have us trade our voices for promises she has neither the ability nor the desire to keep, we can choose that kid from the story about the Emperor's New Clothes, who hears all of the most respected people praising the fabric and the tailoring, and who speaks up anyway to say, I do not know what you're talking about. That guy's showing his ass to the world. Instead of Sauron with his all-seeing eye spreading terror, we can choose the hobbits. We may not be able to carry each other's burdens, but we can, when the need arises, sometimes carry each other. Instead of cowering and in fear at the bombast and grandeur of the wizard, paying no attention to the man behind the curtain, we can choose the Scooby Gang, investigating the forces that make people afraid, not because we ourselves are not scared, but because courage and curiosity and connection are stronger than fear. Instead of the crucifixion, performative cruelty in the name of dominance, we can choose the resurrection, because no matter how bad things become, there is always hope that if we do the work, the world itself can become what we believe.
Our next speaker is someone I don't know, whose name is Jennifer, and she's here to talk.
I just kind of wanted. I just kind of wanted to talk about. I admire the courage of. I didn't hear her name, but with trans rights. As a mom who's went through it, I can't put into words what this is like for her. You know, it said like people are uneducated, you know, that's just uneducated. And so I wanted to kind of talk about, you know, with our kids. So, you know, I tell people, imagine that you have a kid who can't make friends, who battles eating disorders, assaults, you know, anything to just try to fit in. you know, and you find out that this is something that I could help. You know, there's medications and you can help. And to hear the backlash and to hear that you're a bad parent and you're allowing your kids to be mutated when they have no idea what it's like to watch your kid run out in front of a car or jump out of a house, anything to make the pain stop. And we have mental health, you know, we have to do so many things as parents for this to happen. You know, there's doctors. It's not like we wake up one day and say, you know what, this is that. It's just not. That's months of therapy. That's diagnoses. That's blood tests. That's all these things. But think about these kids who just want to be loved. And the amount of Snapchat she was in and tripped down the stairs and food thrown at her, you know, because she wanted to wear her skirt, because she felt pretty that day, you know, and she's not a mutation and she's not defective. And to take away someone's access to medication is just hurtful, and there's no reason for it. You know, I mean, if it was a man, you're gonna keep your blue pills. You know,
Exactly.
When I went through a hysterectomy, no one questioned me getting those hormone replacements. And I think it's really sad that me and my friends are trying to come up with how much medications, how much birth control can we get together, you know, in case she does not have access to it. And I find it really sad that I can't get her a passport. You know, you go through all these things and you get, you know, documents sealed, and you do all this for them to say it does not matter anyways. Your rights are not protected anymore because someone decided they want to see what your birth certificate says to see a marker. And they have no idea what it's like. And so, you know, I just wanted to get up because it takes a lot of courage for people to come up and hear the hate. You know, I see it on our pages like other people said. And then you have people like my family who will not associate at all. You know, my daughter would be so scared to be here. You know, she does not identify anything that would make her a target and anything. And so I just felt, you know, if people were going to speak, I wanted to speak about how that affects, you know, us as parents and the dynamic of what it is right now where she's scared. And as a parent, you know, to watch people just hate her for existing when I'm just so happy to see her happy, you know. And I feel like it's not easy to be the first trans in a high school. It's not easy to drop out because you just can't take it anymore. You know, it's not easy for the addictions and assault, like anything that we can just to feel love, you know. And I don't know what that's like, you know. I didn't decide to be who I am, you know, any more than did she make a choice to be who she is. You know, she just is. And I just hope that more people can educate themselves on the process of HRT. You know, nobody's assaulting anybody in a bathroom. If anybody knows what HRT is, it is things do not function like they did. There is nothing. And there's no coming back, you know. So I just wish people would just educate themselves, you know. And right there, you would take away half your biases just by doing a little research. So I appreciate just having a platform to speak on. And yeah, that's all I got. Thank you.
What?
Would anybody else like to speak? I'd actually like to call somebody out. Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch.
Alex Hardy. I'd like you to give him a chance to talk just a little more, and I wanted to ask him a couple questions. We built stairs for this thing, dude.
Was it so dramatic?
So, what made you decide to run?
Well, you, Scott, and you, my fellow Hoosiers, I see other people stepping up. Like, there's people like Amy, for example. Amy has been busting her ass
being a badass,
Yep.
putting her literal life on the line, not just for herself, but for other service members.
Yep.
For every single service member with a uniform right now who's scared to talk about who they are. And they need somebody who's willing to fight for them.
So, tell us again what position you're running for and in what district?
The Indiana Congressional 6th District, Jefferson Shreve. We're going to make Shreve leave by joining the Hardy Party.
There you go. All right. Make Shreve leave. We've got a slogan. We've got a candidate. All right. What else would you like to say to us?
How are you feeling, Scott?
I am delighted to see change starting to happen, right? Everything like when I first came out for 50-51, there was maybe 100 of us. And since then, we've had crowds of all sizes. And the important thing is that we're still here. We're still pushing the same message. And the message is what's going on in Washington has got to go. And we're going to get there. And we're going to get there through people like you.
And you too, Scott.
You're too kind. All right. Would anybody else like to talk? All right, come on up, Bill. Bill's a poet, and he has brought us poems before. And go up the stairs this time, man.
I was listening to my trans friend speak, and he cleared up a lot of things, so I wrote something about it. She wears a crown, yet she was born a man. I ask why we fear the trans community. So often we fear we don't understand. Yet in listening to her speech, I feel those misconceptions slipping away like the clouds after a rainstorm. The glimmer of a ray of sun shines through my confusion. How do I get to understand a trans? I find the answer is simple. Go out and talk to someone who is trans.
Next up is Gianni, who also has a poem.
Gianni.
Okay, 1 second. I'll find it.
We got your back. Take your time.
Okay, this one's called We Are Not the Weak. And it's about this current political climate. I am black. I am brown. I am fierce. I am flame. I am trans. I am truth. And I say my own name. A survivor of systems that wanted to be gone, but I rise every day, undefeated, headstrong. On May Day we gathered, we fought for our bread, for the workers still sweating, but still barely fed. For the ones in the margins, the hands in the dirt, for the people whose power gets paid back and hurt. This isn't just policy, not politics, not law. If control is erasure, it's fascism raw. Project 2025 is their wicked crusade, to turn all our freedoms to shadow and shade. They want to erase us from textbooks and terms, replace us with silence and nationalist worms. But we are the fire they can't snuff or snare. We're the pulse in the streets, we are already there. We are not myths, we are not shame. We are the spark of the smoke, we are the flame. We are not subjects, we're not your sin. We are the fire that burns within. So light the torches, beat the drum, let every coward know we've come. Not just to march, not just to cry, but to be heard, to live, and to fly. We are the ones who haunt their sleep. The justice sown, they could not reap. The seeds they tried to cast away, we bloom in stone, we will not sway. Trump was a tyrant in clownish disguise, led with a tantrum, governed with flies. A trade war he sparked with no plan, just a tweet, then blamed all the fallout on folks in the streets. Tariffs he tossed like a toddler throws toys, disrupted economies and played with our joys. Jobs were lost, farms went dry, workers wept, while the billionaire cronies just laughed and stepped. He mocked the pandemic, let thousands fall ill, stock market first. Did he forget who would kill? Then grinned as the fascists took hold of the courts, massaging his power in tailored reports. So I say it raw, with no need to be prissy. We'll impeach that man by the goddamn.
I knew you were going to say that.
We're done with the whispers, the waiting of the game. This movement is blazing, and we're naming names. And Elon Musk, that techie kingpin with satellites orbiting, government sin. He brought up our voices, renamed them with spite, turned Twitter to X, and dimmed out the light. He plays with the market, he memes and he mocks, push those like it's truth, while he plays with our stocks. Thinks freedom is him at the top of the chain, but the people will rise, and we won't play his game. Doge ain't a joke when the rent's past due, while billionaires bet while we scrape to get through. When tariffs make bread rise faster than pay, and your leader's a meme who just tweets through the day. They scapegoat the poor, the trans and the queer, while Elon and Trump engineer this fear. They want us divided, too tired to resist, but we are the people they never dismissed. In Indiana, they sign bills like blades, cutting through futures like sharpened charades. Dangerous laws passed behind closed doors, while justice kept knocking and ignored at the floor. But still I rise, I march through that hall, my heels click like hammers, dismantling walls. I carry my people in every step. I carry the names that this state won't accept. To every trans teen feeling pushed from the light, to every black mother who has to pray at night. So the workers, the migrants, the ones cast aside, you are not broken. You are our pride. We fight like our lives are the fire they fear, because they are, and yet we're still here. So chant it, shout it, and sing it out loud. We are not weak, we are fierce, we are proud. Trans lives matter, we rise and declare. Black lives matter, we echo with care. Our rights are power, the rhythm, the beat. Freedom is coming with fire in its feet. I am Diane Dior, storm-born and clear. I am the reckoning you don't want near. I don't ask permission, I don't say please. I'm here for justice, I'm here to seize. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever again. We fight, we shout, and baby, we win.
Okay, next up is Alex, and Alex is my son.
Hello, everyone. I'm sure you've seen me wandering around. I will be honest with you, my father has kind of set a reputation for absolutely amazing speeches, and I wrote this one back there about 5 minutes ago. So just keep the bar nice and low for me if you don't mind. I was deeply disturbed the other day when I read that Trump's big, or as I like to call it, the big bullshit bill was passed through the House. And I would like to remind you that this nation was not built by the idle, nor by the inherited elite. It was built by those who bled, by those who toiled, by those who believed that freedom is not a gift, but a fight. And so we fight. We fight not with violence, but with unshakable unity, not with hatred, but with unrelenting resolve. I believe we at 5051 are not rebels without cause, as they call us. We are the stewards of the soul of this nation. And they have called us radicals, they have called us agitators. But if it is radical to demand justice, if it is agitation to protect the weak, then let them call us what they will. And the truth is, folks, that America is bleeding, and not from war, but from neglect. It is bleeding from the child who watches their mother skip dinner again. It is bleeding from the man who died quietly in a waiting room because insurance did not cover his final breath. It is bleeding from the teacher who works 3 jobs and still cannot afford her own classroom supplies. We at 5051 are not just a resistance, it is a resurrection. We're not asking for change, we are the change. And we are not waiting for history to find us, we are writing it with our feet and with our voices. So every time you march, I want you to march for the mother who now chooses between her medication and her rent. I want you to walk for the immigrant child whose dreams are penned behind chain link fences. I want you to walk for the worker told their labor feeds the nation while their table stays empty. And most of all, walk for each other. Because today and every day, as they sign away our safety, we will light the torches of a new tomorrow, and tomorrow begins on foot. This is not the end, it is the ignition. We are one, and we will not go quietly into that big bullshit bill.
Great. All right. Galfrain, you coming up? Excellent. And let's give a great big hand of applause because Gal Fran just graduated.
Hello, Indianapolis. First, I want to acknowledge that some of the topics that I'm going to speak about may not be suitable for some audiences. I won't be offended if you need to step away to engage in some self-care. Totally understand. My mother never wanted children. She told me so. That fact is very evident in the strength of the relationship that she has with her 3 children. We all have her blocked. I promise this is relevant. We'll get there. She had her first 2 kids out of societal obligation and marital expectation. Then there's me, the accident. Things my mother has told me. I'm a know-it-all. She wishes she had aborted me. Watch what I eat on vacation because she doesn't want me getting fat. Scoring a 32 on the ACT on my first try wasn't good enough. My choir concerts hurt her ears, so she'll never attend them. The IRS will audit her if she fills out the paperwork for me to get free breakfast and lunch at school, and she hasn't filed her taxes in years, so I have to go hungry so the IRS won't audit her. ISIS, the terrorist organization, hacked her computer. My mother talks to people who aren't there. She could be driving and she'd stare off in the distance and just starts chanting the same phrase over and over and over again. Get away from me, get away from me, get away from me. You can't snap her out of it. Calling her name, shaking her, nothing works. Go away, go away, go away. When I am 16, my mom kicks me out. The police are of no help. They threaten to charge me as a runaway. Child Protective Services looks me in my face and tells me that I am old enough to take care of myself and there are children much younger than me who need their help more. I move out 1 week after I turn 18. I was still in high school. My mom had stolen $20,000 from me by emptying my bank account the day before I turned 18. Living on my own doesn't scare me. I've been working since I was 14 and paying for almost everything myself since then. School supplies, phone bill, car insurance, gas, haircuts, clothing, food, etc. All me. I eventually go off to college in another state, thousands of miles away from anything and anything I ever knew in a desperate attempt to escape my mom. I cut off 18 inches of my hair and dye it from blonde to black. I want to be so unrecognizable that I could pass my mom on a street corner and she would not recognize me. I changed my first, middle, and last name, which by the way would mean that the SAVE Act creates a barrier for me, an unmarried woman, to vote. I gave up my entire identity to escape the living nightmare. I am my own creation and I will become my own undoing. At Thanksgiving, I don't go home. I can't afford it. I'm in my dorm room scrolling on Instagram and watching everyone else enjoying time with their families. A text pops up from my mom. You should be taking these vitamins to balance your hormones because the only reason you think I'm a horrible person is because you're home on a teenager. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, Mom. That's not the reason I think you're a terrible person. I think you're a terrible person because you neglect your children. Cue my first argument on my first holiday from home. Listen, Mom, I've asked you 3 times now to stop contacting me because you're always hostile and it's healthy. I have college to worry about and you're adding to the stress. If you don't stop, I'm going to block your number. Her response, if you don't start being nicer to me, I'm going to block your I'm going to return your Christmas and birthday presents. Is she for real? I make more money than you. I'll buy my own stuff. Thanks. Block. A few months later into my sophomore year of college, I get an email from my university telling me that someone claiming to be my mother was trying to get my educational record. I call her. It goes to voicemail. I have made it abundantly clear that I don't want a relationship with you. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm thriving. I have food. I have friends. Things I never had whenever I was living with you. Don't call me. Don't email me or my university looking for me. Don't text me. I'm done. Goodbye. She calls me back but doesn't leave a voicemail. I contact a lawyer. They send a cease and desist. None of my mother's 3 children speak to her. Now she's a single mom of 3 but doesn't have any kids. This story isn't fiction. It's my story. It's not a unique story, and I have met many others who have lived similar lives. I advocate for abortion access because my mother should have had one. She wanted one, but was talked out of it by a fake abortion clinic. I ultimately suffer the consequences of it. In 2021, I was diagnosed with PTSD, the same disorder that our veterans come home with. When Roe v. Wade was overturned, I gave up my ability to have children. I had a permanent sterilization surgery in my early 20s because I refused to be my mother. I refuse to let an increasingly tyrannical government dictate my life. Adriana Smith, say her name. I refuse to bring a child into this world where I cannot guarantee their safety and human rights. I support abortion because it would be cruel to ask another human being to live the life I have. It would be cruel to permit another child to be abused because they were unwanted. It'd be cruel to let another child go hungry because their parents can't bother to feed them or sign the papers to get them free food at school. It is a unique cruelty to feel unloved by the people who are supposed to love you unconditionally, and I can never justify asking another person to live that reality. Project 2025 seeks to create more people just like me. It makes too many assumptions about the behavior of parents. It assumes that all parents act in the best interest of their children and the government would step in if it's not the case. It doesn't factor in for domestic violence or the financial struggles of young adults who separate from their parents for their own safety. Project 2025 seeks to remove access to misoprostol. This is detrimental for a number of reasons. It's one of the only means of access for women affected by domestic violence, and they're much less traumatic on the body, and only an in-person consult is required to check if the pregnancy is ectopic to obtain the required medications. This appointment can be disguised as a regular checkup appointment. Homicide is the leading cause of death for pregnant women in the U.S. Abuse during pregnancy often results in low infant birth weight, which can lead to delayed motor and social development, learning disabilities, and chronic health conditions such as heart disease, diabetes, and blood pressure. Furthermore, P25 seeks to deny Medicaid funds for states that require private insurances to cover abortion. Poverty has long-lasting psychological effects on our children, and the GOP is endorsing it. It also seeks to end medical research conducted using embryonic stem cell lines. These cells were obtained in the 1960s and have been used to produce vaccines for polio, chickenpox, shingles, measles, rubella, rabies, and hepatitis A. Medications tested using these embryonic cell lines include Tylenol, Aleve, aspirin, Sudafed, Benadryl, Claritin, Mucinex, levothyroxine, Lipitor, rosuvastatin, metoprolol, and many more chronic disease medications. In 2020, Trump even received a medication that was created from these stem cell lines to save his life from COVID. The people who claim to be pro-life seek to deny you yours. Yep. My life has taught me that family is more than blood. Family is my Girl Scout leader crowdfunding the cost of my portion of the hiking trip without my knowledge, so I wouldn't have to worry about working extra hours to cover the cost. I now call her my mom. Family are the people who stay with you, who you stay with when you can't afford to keep the lights on. Families standing out in the rain for every single protest for the past 3 months, fighting for each other's rights and showing up when the world as we know it is crumbling beneath us. P25 aims to limit the definition of family to a man, a woman, and their children. That's problematic for a number of reasons, but most importantly, it's destructive to community. Focusing on the individual perpetuates the lie of capitalism, that to do it alone is to do it right. What do we say? United we stand. United we fall. Focusing on their version of the family keeps us under their control by dividing us and socially prohibiting us from aiding one another. Community services are the reasons that I stand before you today. My public school teachers gave me the tools to succeed and read between the lines of Project 2025. The library was the only way for me to access the internet so I could graduate high school with honors and attend a very well-known university and achieve a dual STEM degree. My high school teachers made sure that I was fed. My community helped me finish my department. Medicaid saved my life multiple times over. My local library seed bank helped me to grow my own food. The GOP does not want us to be self-sustainable. They want us contained, they want us controlled, they want us to be worker bees to boost their own pockets. The GOP claims to be pro-life and advocating for our children, but you, my fellow Hoosiers, are the ones who are actually showing up for our children and making sure they have the ability to succeed even if their own parents won't. We want children to feel loved by their community. We want no child to be hungry and all children to be educated. We want all children to feel joy and to be children. Our children deserve the same rights and opportunities as the elite who maliciously ensure that we will never occupy the same space and demand respect. The true measure of our character is how we treat the poor, the disfavored, the accused, the incarcerated, and the condemned. We the people dissent.
Jesus Christ.
That was Gallifrey and Valkyrie. Please give her another hand of applause. She deserves it for that speech. All right. Nobody else wants to go. I'm going to give a closing address. Then we're going to Then we're going to do another march if we want to. All right. So, the title is The World Has Changed and Democrats Need to Change with It.
Yes.
I'm going to start with a thesis. Trump 2.0 isn't Trump 1.0. Trump 2.0 isn't GW. Trump 2.0 isn't a president. He is a wannabe fascist king. And now I'm going to hit you with some comments I keep getting. Because after every rally, I hear stuff. You shouldn't swear.
Shut up.
Fuck that!
You can't use that word. You can't say that. That word will scare people. That word will cost us the 2026 election.
Shut the fuck up. There we go.
Really? Have you not realized we're losing? So, I keep getting hit with this over and over and over. I'm not. So, well, the basic thesis here is that decorum is critical. We can't look like we're crazy. We can't look like those wild leftists.
I'm pretty
Really?
wild, man. I'm a wild fucking leftist.
That we can't look like we're angry. Oh yeah? We're angry.
We got toxic empathy.
All right. And now, here's the best part. I was told this just recently, and then the very same person who tells me this tells me if we don't get Trump out, we'll be in open rebellion by July. So these two statements do not make sense.
No, they don't.
Okay? So we cannot be concerned about decorum if we think we'll be in rebellion. Right? And the question is Trump an existential threat or not? Now, if Trump is not an existential threat, I should be well behaved because that's the politics as usual. But
is not politics.
What if he is an existential threat? So a quick audience poll. Raise your hand if you think Trump is politics as usual.
Nope.
Nope. All right. Now, who thinks Trump's a fascist who's trying to wreck everything? There you go. That's my people. Okay. So, I'm going to tell you something about 50-51 Indiana that everybody seems to get wrong. We are not politics as usual. I mean, every 2 damn weeks we are here. That never happens. Quite honestly, that's not normal for politics in America. Pull off major events every couple of weeks. Now, you got to understand something. We are not the right. We are not the left. We are right versus wrong.
Humanity.
Community, that's right.
No, humanity.
Humanity,
Boom.
yes. So we say we are the damn resistance, so let's resist.
Stop drinking the bleach.
That's right, stop drinking the bleach. Okay. They tell us that we can't look angry. I say be angry. They tell us we must police our speech. I say no. That we must play by the rules. Hell no. That is why we lose.
We need new rules.
That's right. The right isn't playing by the rules. So, couple things here. I am 57, which means I'm old enough to join the AARP finally. Right? But I have yet to order off the early bird menu. So, old is not a number. Old is a mindset. Old is nothing more than an inability to accept change. I am not old, and quite honestly, if you're here, you are not old. So, that's right.
No more dividing the generation.
That's right. So, Indiana 50-51 is the resistance, and I'm the state organizer, and quite honestly, I like my invective. I like my dirty words. So, let's talk about why we use them. Dirty words have power. They stand out. They motivate.
To get people to listen.
And you know who they motivate in particular? The young. Right? We need everyone here. And most of all, we need the people for whom the future really matters. Now, speech patterns change every generation. I remember my parents shook their heads at me. Oh, they would just do that. And I'd be like, yeah? So, I will admit, I don't always enjoy it when my kids use some language. However, it is powerful. And today's young, they have incorporated cursing into their lifestyle as a damn art form.
Don't censor the young.
Don't censor the young. And best of all, they do it from a position of media literacy, internet savvy, rap music, and more. And we want the young to come out here and join us. So let me ask you this. Who's more likely to get the young out here? An established Democrat like Chuck Schumer? Hey, where's he gone? Or somebody who uses dirty words? Right?
Jasmine Crockett!
Jasmine Crockett. So, let's talk about an honest truth here that doesn't make any damn sense. The U.S. is the only industrialized nation that does not offer health care. Fuck that. All right, can anyone honestly tell me, just on the basis of that we don't need radical change? Nope. So, if we are the excuse me, if we are the resistance, may I have a chorus, please? Fuck Trump! Fuck Trump! Fuck Trump! Fuck Trump! Fuck Trump! All right. Thank you so much for coming today.